guys, but the thing that I can give you to you is the passion that I have for this business. I have been in the industry for more than 25 years. I started my career in Mexico. Later on, I moved to Brazil for working with BASF at that time. I back to Mexico for a while, and then I joined to another company, and I came to the US, and since then, I'm here. Most of the time working in the international business, developing markets, opportunities for different companies, BASF, Valent, Sumitomo, all those companies. Crop protection has been my background, and when Clark, actually was not Clark, was Mark Slavin, we met in Houston several years ago. One day I woke up and I saw in my text, Mark Slavin text me. I mean, we are friends, and just once a year we say some text, Happy New Year or something like that, you know. I say, hey, we are doing la 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 la. Do you want to talk with us? I say, who, Aqua, what? And I say, well, we started the conversation with Clark, and here we are. 3 months later, I can tell you, are very excited that we are doing right now. I have been listening, trying to be very careful with what are you saying through this presentation. The questions are very interesting questions. Everything has been very interesting for me. I always have in my mind, and I have been learning this from one of my previous bosses in those companies, that you need to learn from every single person. Probably the more simple person in the group is going to teach you something. And I always try to do that, pay attention to what they are trying to say, what they're trying to teach me. And one of the things that I have been learning is customers is the most important part. I have 25 years plus, so Clark gave me 35 the first time that we discussed it. I'm not that old. I mean, even though the beard is white, I'm not that old. But the customer is the most important part in this business. I really like it. If you go travel to another countries, in the countryside, talking with farmers in Brazil, Argentina, Spain, Turkey, Japan, whatever, customers always is the most important part. It's not the product, it's not the company, it's the customer. And this is what I learned in my career. I just want to give you some kind of background about what has been my thought process. I know it's nothing related with the market, guys, but it's going to be probably something that you can extract for that. And probably we can have some cross-pollination between us and with those guys from Mexico, from Chile, and in the future from more other countries that we're expecting to hire and other customers as well. Then we can start to create that communication between the countries and to share all this information that you are creating. Because soybeans in Brazil are different than soybeans in the Midwest. It's soybean, but kind of different. You can learn from them, and we can learn from, and they can learn from us as well. I'm not going to go for all these slides, but I want you keep in mind, industry trends. Everybody trend, and everybody makes some kind of snapshot what is happening right now in the industry. What is important right here is the industry is changing very quick. Costs are going up, technologies are moving, crop protection products are banned to use it. In some crops, you don't have that options, those tools. Then the limitation that the farmers has to produce and to have more yields is more and more reduces every single time. Not just in the US. It's happening in Brazil, it's happening in Mexico, it's happening in Chile, all over the places. Then, on top of that, you have the supermarkets, like European markets, supermarkets, Tesco's, all those supermarkets that they are more strict. And the government put some kind of regulation about the MRLs that you have to have in your fruits. But Tesco say, okay, that is what the government says, but we want half of that. Then our friends in Ecuador, when they are producing bananas to ship to Germany, they have a lot of problems. Because in order to produce bananas, by example, in Ecuador or in Costa Rica, you have to apply every other week. Not true, every week. That's why, guys, parenthesis right here, when you go to Whole Foods and they are trying to sell you organic bananas, it's not true. It's not true. I don't pay for that, guys. It's not true. I mean, they apply fungicides every single week, and sometimes every 4 days. Otherwise, you're going to have bananas in your plate. That is important to understand. 55% of the consumers are looking for more healthy, sustainable food. That puts more pressure on the chemical charge that you are putting in your crops. Then you cannot apply some fungicides, you cannot apply some herbicides, you cannot apply some insecticides. Even some fertilizers, you cannot use it because the chemical charge is going to be up the threshold that the supermarket is asking for. Then this is one task for pesticide residue reduction has become a critical topic. We already mentioned about that. It's very critical. But the important part right here is how the nanotechnology is going to help us in these different industries is in this way. IPM, all people who went to the agricultural school, we learn about IPM. But just a few people, we are using that IPM normally. But just to put it this example, what is happening right now in the world? 580 pest species has resistance to the insecticides. Then, I'm going to make a question. When was the last time that you saw a new chemistry, crop protection product that the company is launching to the market? You name it, Bayer, Syngenta, Corteva, whatever. When was the last time that they launched a new chemistry? Why? Why is that? It's very expensive. And then the government says, you can use it. They need to spend 10 years to develop one insecticide. They have to spend $600 million to launch the product and then to utilize 2 years. On top of that, the tools that we have today, they are getting resistance. Insecticides, fungicides, herbicides, you name it, you have problems. Then, how can we help the farmer to be more efficient? I like the slide that Joe Bloom presented about the yield. I love that slide. How can we help them? The only way that we are going to help them is utilizing new technologies, disrupting technologies. Nanotechnology is one of those. I have not seen new technologies in the ag business lately. And I have 25 years working, probably you have more than me, or less than me, but I have not seen new technologies in the market. I'm not going to go through this because you already mentioned about this nitrogen and phosphate is a kind of problem. What I want to go is in this direction, guys. This is the market of crop protection. As you can see right there, right now it's going to be $74 billion. From the growth of this business is 3% every year. It's more organic, the growth. It's not an exponential. And because all the causes that I already mentioned to you guys about all this limitation, the growth is kind of very slow. But you can see biopesticide, biofertilizer, inoculant, biostimulant, they are in another level of growth. Some of them, they are in the 2-digit growth. That is very important. It is going to help this industry to start to keep the yields at the same level or improve those yields. Just to put it in a perspective, this is from 2020. Herbicides is the biggest part. Fungicides and insecticides, kind of the same. That is worldwide. We're talking about the global market of crop protection. But this is very important, the slide that I want to share with you guys, because for me, one of the parts that I need to think when I develop one strategy is to put a lot of focus. If you don't put focus, you are going to go all over the places and you are not going to embrace nothing at the end of the year. It is very difficult. That's why I mentioned this several times in my different jobs about this. You can see this is North America. I'm not going to all the slides, but you can see this includes US, Canada, and Mexico. Corn, soybeans, wheat, the largest areas planted in all North America. But when you go to the crop protection, Look at the shift. You have corn. Corn is one of the largest in crop protection, but soybean is the second largest in area, but it's not the second largest in crop protection uses. It's fruit and vegetables. What is telling me this slide to me? Where I need to put a lot of focus to develop my new markets? Corn and fruit and vegetables. AquaYield, and potentially you guys, you don't have endless resources. Money, I hope so we can have endless money, but it's not that. We need to focus in order to extract the more value of our business. And I hear about you guys. Some are very strong in citrus, and other guys in strawberries, and other guys in soybeans. That is the right way, that is the right approach. What is happening in other latitudes? South America, soybeans, corn, sugarcane. When you jump into the crop protection, you will see soybeans, fruit and vegetables, again. Corn, sugarcane, cotton. That is all Latin America, from Guatemala to the Patagonia. Of course, Brazil has a very impact right here with 40 million hectares of soybeans every single year and growing every year. It's the only area in the world that is growing new areas to plant soybeans. And the other advantage that they have 2 seasons. Then they have saffron, safrinha, they call it. They planted 1 season, they harvest, and behind the combine is the planting is coming behind them. It is very important. Market. We are already approaching this mark as an AquaYield. Europe and Africa. This is more a steady market. It is kind of more difficult regulatory-wise. You have a lot of complications as well. I'm not saying it's not important, and AquaYield is not going to go there, but it's not going to be our priority right now. In Asia Pacific, could be, Asia Pacific is very attractive. You can see 140 million hectares of rice, 120, 110 million hectares of wheat. But the problem right here, guys, is when you are going to evaluate the rate of adoption of new technologies in those countries is very small. Then the effort that you need to put on that is quite hard. A lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of people. In everything, people, time is more money. Then we need to be very wise in the way that we are going to utilize these resources that we have in AquaYield. That is a very interesting slide, guys, that I want to share with you. This is the percentage adoption through the time. And you can see North America, Latin America, Western Europe. They are higher, longer at the time, and higher in the adoption rate of adoption. If you can see Asia Pacific, Middle East, Eastern Europe, they are very in the early stage, and it's going to take more time. And I'm talking about all kind of new technologies. I put in nanotechnology because it's our business, but when you are talking about satellites or machinery or even fertilizer in some cases, crop protection, biological uses, inoculants, they are way behind those areas. That's why our focus, our strategy is going to be focused phase 1 right here is what we are doing. You already have some years in front of us in the US with AquaYield. We are going to push very hard to catch up you guys. That is our intention. Then, I'm not going to get there. I would like to share this slide before almost finish my presentation, guys. Because I mentioned, what is the most important part in this business is the customers. If you want to be a leader in the market, this book that I read several years ago, catch my attention in this part. You can have the best product, you can be the best company in operational excellence, and you can be the best company in the customer relationships. Where do you see, guys, I have my opinion about when I listen to the panel, but I want to hear you guys. Where do you put AquaYield in these three pillars. What is the most important pillar for AquaYield in your experience with the company? Customer intimacy. Who else? ¿Quién da más? Customer intimacy. Why, guys? Why do you say it's more important? Well, you put customer intimacy like the best one for you. What is your opinion on that? The base, the argument to support that.
It's the customer has to be the focus. Sonny brought it up. Warren always puts it that way. All of us have to focus on the customer, because if we don't meet the customer's needs, we don't get a job tomorrow.
But the products are good.
Products are good, but
Yeah.
customer trust is number one.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And we are not going to do something different in the rest of the world. Customer centricity is our focus. Crops in those customers in those crops that they are the priority crops, fruit and vegetables, soybeans, corn is going to be our focus. And the strategy is going to be developed based on that. I love this slide, guys. I work in marketing in these companies. They teach me a lot of things about the cycle life of the products. And I'm envisioning AquaYield internationally as a new product. Then you can see right here, this is all the products that we are expecting to launch into the market, in the international market. Right now, we are right here, outside, because we don't have sales. We are developing the market. But as soon we enter into the market, we start to establish the different strategies in order to make a strong introduction, later on to have the growth, and of course, at the time that is coming the maturity in those markets, we are looking for something else. Probably to say the first phase was soybeans and fruits and vegetables. Now we are going to sugarcane. Now we are going to add cotton. Now we are going to add bananas, then so on and so on and so on. But you cannot go running all over the places, all over the crops, all over the countries, because you are going to burn yourself. And this is what we are doing right now. Phase one, Mexico, we are very focused on exportation crops, that is vegetables. South America, we already start relationships or conversations in Guatemala, Costa Rica, tropical crops, banana and pineapples. Chile and Peru, that we have our distributor from Chile right here, Gonzalo and Jose, is going to be cherries, hazelnut, avocado, table grapes, Ecuador, bananas and flowers, Brazil, soybean, sugarcane, corn and cotton, Argentina, soybean and wheat. That is going to be our focus of the strategy. And we are not expecting to go to another places. Then that is important for us to focus our strategy in order to be successful. Of course, we have some relationships, people who contact us because they start to listen about the technology worldwide. In India, we already have some very deep conversation. Probably we are going to close the deal. It's going to be more related in a business-to-business relationship with NLT 5000. The rest of the markets, we are going to have a combination between the NLT 5000 and the finished product that we have right here. That is the strategy that we are establishing internationally. That is the focus that we have. And we are expecting for the next NanoCon not to have just one table from the international customers. It's going to be probably all this line. That is my expectation. And I hope so they can learn from you and you can learn from them as well.